But Instagram is dead. It's not possible to grow anymore. Come on, I just go into a corner and cry. This is what I hear from so many people out there. And meanwhile, there's a bunch of gurus and social media marketing people out there still teaching Instagram marketing like it's 2020. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm not even talking about 2019, because compared to what it is right now, 2019 is like ancient times. And here's the thing that I kind of slowly start to believe. It feels like a lot of those Instagram gurus or whatnot out there are actually not telling you the full scope of things. It feels like they're missing some integral parts out of this whole equation.
Just create some content. Ideally, you don't even have to create your content. Just repost and add some growth hacks. That's all that you need.
Yeah, because they wobble with their heads all the time. But, my friends, if you take a little bit of a closer look at what they actually do versus what they tell you, you're gonna see that most of these people themselves actually use different strategies. Seems like a lot of these people use the strategies that I'm about to teach you here in this video series, actually. It just feels like they seem to always forget to tell you about it. Anyway, my name is Dominic, and I'm one of those Instagram marketers, that try to tell you how to grow and monetize your brands on social media. And I've actually helped thousands of people over the past few years grow, especially on Instagram, build their brands online. And yeah, I actually do have a lot of insights from this whole Instagram world because I own a marketing agency that specifically, grows people's Instagram accounts, working with all different kinds of, Instagrammers or brands actually. And I've seen some things and I've analyzed some things, some interesting things that I'm about to show you here in this video. Anyway, in this multi-part video series, I'm gonna show you what I found out from analyzing successful Instagram profiles and what they actually do differently that makes them actually grow and flow and blossom. But we're not just talking about some blatant numbers, because at the end of the day, if you have a lot of followers that don't really engage with you, probably for nothing. So we're talking about something with real substance here. Here's the thing, it feels like when people click on a video like this, most of them actually expect one of those videos that teaches those outdated, crappy, glitchy growth hack strategies that actually are not gonna take you far. But that's just what the Instagram marketing world has become and feels like. And I wanna change this. I'm trying my best actually to change this whole thing. See, the problem with those sketchy, outdated hacks is that actually Instagram is one of the fastest, probably the fastest evolving social media platform ever. And another thing that a lot of people forget is that actually people themselves evolve with the platform, and they're just sick of it. Sick of those old crappy 2018 style tactics to grow their Instagram accounts. They can smell this from a mile away if somebody comes with this follow and follow crap, for example. But still, a lot of people call these outdated methods traditional Instagram marketing. But I just tell you how it is. It flat out doesn't work anymore. And don't get me wrong, I was partly on that path myself, especially with my agency. When I started my agency, those glitchy hacks and quick fixes actually were the only thing there to grow your Instagram account, or that's what we were led to believe. And they actually did give me some results in my clients. It's not like they don't work at all. It's just that they cap you very low. They cap you, but they kind of make you believe that this is the right way to go. But this is kind of like the cap that you can achieve. It's like this, and the other thing is like this, you understand? Huh? It's hard for me to show this, but I hope you understand. But let's talk about the two things that I think might be the missing link in order to make this whole thing work for you. Number one, I'm gonna actually show you what differentiates the most successful brands, Instagram brands out there, from the rest of the algorithm hates me crowd. Because one day, about 2 years ago or something like this, it hit me like an apple from a tree. I was like, how come there's some creators out there that seemingly get traction like there's no tomorrow, that are crushing it like never before on Instagram, while there's others with seemingly better content, maybe even, that don't seem to get traction at all. So what I did was I've actually studied these brands, and I've actually, because I have a marketing agency myself, I took a look at the accounts and brands that we worked with actually, who were performing way better than some of the others, and took a look actually what differentiates them. And this whole thing actually led me to develop the influence accelerator system, as I call it, or framework, or whatever you might want to call it. Basically, this whole system is a machine that anybody can use to transform themselves into a brand people actually love and engage with, and eventually also become super fans buying their stuff and things like that. And number two, I'm actually gonna break down this whole influence accelerator framework, showing you how to implement these steps for your own brand to get results fast. So let me just get my whiteboard of truth and justice and a lot of pain, and it's actually not even white. Thinking about it right now, it's actually a darkish blue. But let me get into the inner workings of this whole system. Okay, so let's just say, you know, you're at this point, wherever this might be. Could be that you just started out, or you already have some sort of audience, or at a plateau or something like this, right? And everybody wants to go there, you know? First of all, grow and build fans, you know? Because without fans, you know, because there's a difference between followers and fans, but you should know that by now already if you watch my videos, right? Because fans will ultimately lead you, or actual followers will actually lead you to also to money, for example, you know? And this thing will then start to feed itself kind of if you know the funnels and if you know what to, you know, what measures to take. But you're still here, right? So what are you gonna do? There's obviously some sort of way to go there. And a lot of people, like I said, well, just some growth hacks and repost content, that's it. Well, obviously this is not how it's gonna work. You know, first of all, you have to stand out. Because we figured out, well, it kind of is a little saturated right now already. So obviously the first important thing is you have to stand out from all the other people who are there, who are in your niche, who are, you know, just in general on Instagram, you know, because the baseline is kind of always kind of getting higher, you know, in terms of content quality and stuff like this. Also, you're gonna have to, because of that, you're gonna have to position yourself. Yourself, it's a F, all right, with the F. You're gonna have to position yourself, whatever that means, because it depends what niche you're in. It depends what path you're at. But ideally, you want to position yourself as some sort of authority. Authority, you know, people say expert. We talked about it in my last video, actually. This being a thing that a lot of people already don't know how to do because they think expert is just one thing. But we're not gonna talk about it right here. All right, then obviously these points actually being before you take your phone and sign up for Instagram or before you actually start creating your content. These are the things that you have to do before, right? Now let's talk about content a bit because I see it a lot when I talk to people. They're like, well, my content is great, you know? I didn't know what else I should do. I have great content, something just not working out. But do you actually know that you have good content or do you just feel that, you know? Because this is actually the difference, and this is kind of like a side note right here. There's two kinds of marketing, you know what I mean. There's hope marketing and there's actual marketing. Hope marketing, actually, you just sitting there and saying, well, I think I do the right things. You know, my content is good without having any data to back it up, right? And this being so important, you need some data to back everything up, every decision in your process of you growing your Instagram account, you need something to back it up because, yeah, we're not in hope marketing territory. We're actually doing some real stuff, you know? We're here to make a business probably out of this whole thing. So be honest with me right now. Did you actually ever go into your analytics and honestly check out which kind of content works better or not? Or do you actually know whether you have different kinds of content or not? If you don't exactly know, backed by data, you're just doing hope marketing, you know? And this is doomed to fail. And this is why a lot of people actually do fail or not get, you know, off the ground. Right, so coming from that, we're slowly approaching the content territory, the content strategy territory. You know, what is that? First of all, you're gonna have to know who you're gonna serve, meaning you really have to find your audience before. I actually heard a very smart man say, find your buyer first before you actually, you know, try to make your product or something like this. Same thing being with social media and Instagram. Find your audience first before you start to dig into this whole thing. And here's the thing, it could be that you don't even know exactly what your audience is. It could be that, and this goes back right into the positioning yourself. Well, this is actually here, to the positioning yourself. It could be that just by you positioning yourself a little bit the wrong way, your ideal target audience doesn't feel like they're being spoken to. They don't think you are actually creating content for them. It's those tiny details that actually make a whole lot of difference. Then you also have to know what you're gonna give your audience, right? Meaning your content itself. What types of content? Let's be honest with each other again. Do you actually know that there's different types of content? Did you ever analyze that for your profile, for your brand? That there actually is different ways to approach your audience with different content? And did you actually analyze that for yourself? What might work better or not? Or do some tests? You know, just another thing. Then obviously you're gonna have to know how you're gonna do all of that together, right? And now you're gonna see we're approaching audience development. That's what it means, audience development right here. And it's actually starting to get a little more complicated, right? And just right now, you probably can see a lot of things that you can implement right now, or at least figure out for yourself right now that you can change in your whole social media Instagram strategy to make it for the better. Now talking about audience development and especially your content strategy right here, how you're gonna find that, obviously through running a lot of tests. Obviously you can run tests obviously with ads, but it's not a must, but if you have the budget, tests is obvious. Ads is obviously a really good thing to perform these tests and see what kinds of different audiences actually perform better with types of content and types of niches and stuff like this. But obviously just organic tests with your audience. The thing that you should focus on. Basically, just you doing your thing, you going in there with full force and constantly analyzing and optimizing this whole thing. These things all have to come before you actually even think about the algorithm or before you think about growth hacks, right? Because what growth hacks actually are, they just give you some traffic. That's it. Basically, they give you traffic from within, with the help of the algorithm. If done correctly, if done not correctly, they will eliminate the chance of you ranking in the algorithm organically or in the hashtags. But basically, it's just traffic, right? So by you using growth hacks, and we're going to talk about a very great growth hacking strategy that you can use. That's right from my black file in the next video, actually, of how you can get 1,000 followers really quickly with some updated and advanced strategies. But if you do all of these things, basically people just come to your profile, and then there's a million touching points. And here's the thing, you always kind of have to approach this whole thing from this angle. Somebody approaches your brand the first time, they're gonna have some negative feelings attached to it. The first time they do not care. They do not care at all, right? So you're gonna have to take everything in your possibility to turn this around and actually make them care, and basically trying to make it natural so people are actually happy when they come to your profile and then actually hit the follow button so they follow you. And if you have watched my videos before, this is only 15% of this whole cake, because once they follow you, you're gonna have to make everything in your realm to actually make them stay, because this is actually what the algorithm really focuses on in 2021. Make him stay. How you're gonna do that? Obviously, your content needs to be of some sort of value to them. Obviously, there's a very vague concept. Everybody talks about value. How am I gonna figure out what actually is value? Well, research. Huge thing in the whole growth hacking world and the marketing world. Research and analytics, right? Make this your friend. Yeah, analytics. Make them your friend, and then you're gonna see this is actually where it's at. You're gonna think about things like, when, for example, is there a special time that people tend to like my posts more? Also track the velocity of your likes. Is there maybe, some small things even? Let's just say you have some carousels and initially they get less likes, talking about absolute numbers, but when you actually compare these metrics to your reach and everything that you get, you're gonna figure out that percentage-wise, you're gonna get higher likes, higher engagement than usual. It's just the algorithm only pushes you out to a subset of people because it only thinks, well, these are the people that are gonna be interested in the algorithm. But by you nurturing this whole thing and you showing, well, those people that the algorithm shows us to are a little bit higher than usual, you're gonna see this whole ring is gonna grow because the algorithm's always gonna try to find more audiences for you, right? And this is how you're gonna grow. And this is what we talk about, consistency. Finding some micro trends, certain upswings in your content strategy, in your analytics, right? This just being a small part of it, obviously. Once you figure that out, we call it the best performing post. You're gonna have to go all in on that, on the best performing post. You can even try to boost some stuff to reach into newer territories, to reach some newer audiences. And then in this case, it actually makes a lot of sense to boost some stuff. Usually it makes no sense to boost some stuff because the algorithm usually is confused, especially when you make it wrong. But if you know a lot of these things, if you've dialed down on a lot of these things and know your best performing posts, plus you know your audience, right? Plus the algorithm knows your audience, then it's up. This is where the magic happens. Then you can use boosted posts And just with a bunch of bucks, $20 or something like this, you're gonna reach thousands of laser targeted people, and then it will feed the algorithm more, and then organic growth is gonna be more than before. Understand what I mean? This obviously just being a side note. And for all the people who want to go all in and start taking their Instagram actually seriously, I'm very stoked to announce that my Instagram Black File version 2.0 is set to be released on February the 8th, and I'll be taking a small set of students, teaching you literally every step of the way to grow a highly engaged Instagram account without any of those weird tactics and bullshit crap stuff, you know, I can promise you that. Anyway, access to the Black File 2.0 is actually very limited, as I'm only gonna take a small set of students, mainly to ensure some quality, you know, that's just how it is. So if you're ready to crush it in 21, down below there's the waiting list, make sure you're on there. And like I said, this is actually a very rare opportunity to directly work with me together, ask me questions, and learn from updated strategies, and yeah, work pretty closely with me. You know, usually this doesn't happen right now, just because of the nature of this thing, my brand. Anyway, so if you have questions, obviously, just drop them down below, and I'll see you guys with part 2 of this whole video series in a few days. So, my name is Dominic. Be good, kids. Bye-bye. I'll see you later. Be rebels, actually. That's what I want to say. Bye.